Okay, so I know it's been a little bit since I've done a Sunday reading or a love reading. So I wanted to kind of combine the two. And so we're going to take a look at your past, present, and future in your love life. But I'm also going to address anything else that comes through. Okay? So this could just be messages pertaining to your life and, you know, whatever's going on in your life as well. So I'm kind of leaving myself open to both, but I want to focus on your love life. So 3 piles to choose from. The first pile here is the Hidden Realms Tarot, which I haven't used in a little while, but I'm excited to use it. And then this is the Seahorse charm that I found. So excited when I found this charm. I love it. Okay, and then pile 2 is the Lunar Soul Tarot, and this is the Compass. And then pile 3 is the Mystical or Tarot of Mystical Moments, and then this is a Dagger. Okay. So pile 1, pile 2, pile 3. Timestamps are down below, and I'll see your pile. Hey, pile 1. So if you chose the Tarot of Hidden Realms. Got a little sidetracked there already. So this is the Seahorse. So there's some information that I want to express about the Seahorse. Most importantly, because we're talking about love here, Seahorses, they lack life-term partners, and they are known to kind of be with a partner more than one season, mating season. And sometimes if they really, really lack that life-term partner, it's funny because they'll actually, when the heavy currents come, they'll intertwine their tails together so they won't lose each other. And I think that's so sweet. Also, the males are the ones that carry the eggs, actually. And seahorses, they're not really that great of swimmers. They're more of where they kind of ride the current. So riding the wave is something that's here, riding the, being in the flow of things. So I'm going to pull 3 different oracles here, and I'm going to quick shuffle through these real quick, guys, and then I'll see y'all in just a second. Okay, pile 1, so let's take a look and see what we have here. So this is going to be your past here I'm fixing to look at, and this will be your present, this will be your future. And by the way, your future energy, there's a lot of energy coming off of that, so I'm anxious to see what it is. I haven't seen these yet. So your past energy, stars in the sky, limitless possibilities, number 51. You may have had some sort of new opportunity here in your past where maybe you even were mending like a bridge between someone, but this kind of being a part of your destined path or the way that you saw it, to be able to change things and have a new beginning. Like it was like an endless possibility of what could happen or what can transpire. It's almost like you were sitting in the middle of significant changes for yourself, and also having this new beginning for yourself. For some of you, this could actually be just a new beginning in love, but for a lot of you, I feel like there's some sort of bridge or foundation that you were rebuilding with someone here, trying to find peace and understanding with that, and really kind of looking to hope that everything will kind of work out in the future, things will come together great, and there was some changes that entailed with that were upon you. Like you had a lot of possibilities here of how things would have, could have, and should have worked out, is what I want to say. You were sitting in a place, and I think you think about this a lot. I think you think about how, man, you know, I was in that place. I was in that things could have went so differently, you know, in that place. So I want to say maybe things haven't gone well, but maybe things haven't gone in the way that you thought they would, but it's almost like when you look back at the future and you're looking at it in a way of, well, I had limitless potential there. I had limitless possibilities that way things could have transpired, and the star is a hope and a wish that you had. So if you're looking back as something as in the past tense of what you had, it means that there's some sort of regret that's there, I feel. Maybe has to do with some sort of healing a situation, or healing yourself even in a situation. Okay, so what's your present energy? Well, that's not what I was expecting. I don't think I've ever seen this card. This is the Shaman Oracles, by the way. This is number 4, opportunity. Wow. Caterpillar. So it's a caterpillar, but it's a cat. Cats represent the, for me, that intuition, that inner knowing. Cats are kind of funny because a cat just does not care. A cat does not care. A cat's not like a dog. It doesn't kind of put on that responsibility of needing to do X, Y, and Z to make your master happy. A cat does not care. They love you, but they don't. They're not attentive to your needs. They're more concerned about what it is that they need and want. But they're still loving, Maybe this is it too. Maybe you were sitting in a place to where you could change. The caterpillar goes through an evolution, and you having this possibility of what you could go through and change in yourself, this being the number 4, so that foundation within yourself, an opportunity to really have those changes. It's like this is current energy for some of you. I'm speaking of past tense, so this could be where you feel like you're leaving behind because of the realization that may go into this of where you are now. Like, oh, wow, I had opportunity there to change things. And endless possibilities. There's a lot of regret that I'm feeling here. Also, these both are the number 4, could be. So 44 may be significant, but really 4 is, again, that stability, and 8 would be taking action. So taking action, mastering something, working on something. You could have had something to do with, you could have worked on this opportunity that you were given, and maybe you regret not doing that because it could have helped or maintained some sort of foundation for yourself, or stability in a connection could also be something that's here. So you're regretting how things have kind of transpired up until this point. It's almost like you have, maybe you were overthinking some things here. You see how, yeah, my phone just went off. Y'all couldn't hear it, but I felt it. Yeah, you definitely could have been overthinking a lot of things here. Now my voice is going to go too. But the reason I'm saying this is because you have all these eyes, so you could have been trying to look at every detail, which is this overthinking energy that I'm feeling. Also, all this purple, like this royal purple kind of color, and all these eyes, it's like that third eye thing of that inner knowing. You may have even went through this experience, having this inner knowing that you could almost feel yourself somehow depleting yourself of an opportunity. That's an interesting way of saying that. It's almost like you had your eyes on the wrong things. Like you were too concerned about the wrong things. I know I'm hesitating. I was like, I want to get the future energies, and then I was like, I don't know. I heard that I need to wait. let's see what this is about. Let's work through this real quick. There's some stuff coming out about this. Now, I know we're talking about love, so this could be a relationship, but for some of you, this can be in different things in your life. Just be this particular thing and how it affects you in your life. Maybe overthinking things when you have these, and you feel like maybe you get overwhelmed with limitless possibilities, right? When you get opportunities, maybe you might get somewhat overwhelmed. You have the Wheel of Fortune and the Hanged Man in reverse. Seeing opportunities in a different perspective, being able to see opportunities in a different perspective is the important thing here for you to be able to kind of move forward and really gain what it is that you want. Instead of looking at it too much so into more like the analytical part of things, but taking both perspectives. You know, your head and your heart are meant to co-create together. They're connected to one another, but it's almost like that. Think of it like a relationship, you know. Sometimes you know, opposites attract, you know, and you have that, which I think is purposeful because you have duality there. But anyway, yeah, that's what it is too. It's about the duality that's there. And think of it in your heart and your head and the duality that goes into that. You know, your heart is, your feelings are very different from the way your head works things out. But they're connected to one another. You have to have both of them in order to kind of really process through things in the way that you're meant to. But you can overdo both things, right? Your heart can run away with itself without your head. And your head can kind of get in the way of things and be over analytical in ways without your feelings being a part of that. You have to be able to recognize the way you feel, because that's like your intuition. That's like your God-given sense of your cat-like senses, you know. It's like your God-given sense of like your spidey senses of knowing what it is that you need to do moving forward, you know, and then sending that signal up to your head, and your head going, okay, we got it. Let's see what we can do with this, you know. Let's see how we can work this out. But if your head overthinks it, no, I don't need it, you know, and fear kind of gets in the way of that. Really screw up a situation, especially if there's an opportunity at hand, especially when it has to do with love or something that you really, 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 really desire, you know, because you can get so consumed in that as well. There has to be a balance between the both in order to really have what it is that you want. Okay, now I can turn this over. I just needed to bring that message. Yeah, crown games. This just came out in a personal reading that I did. So if you're watching that, then here you go. Right use of power, number 8. So 8 is strength in tarot. 4 is actually the Emperor. 5 would be the Hierophant, but also 6 would be the Lovers, and we are talking about love. So being able to accommodate what it is that you feel imbalanced with, what you want to control here as far as your own solid foundation, and what that looks like for you, and how to kind of interpretate that into your life in the way that you can move forward. You know, we have that number 8 here, 4, 4, and 8, like I said. So having that action to like move forward there, and then also recognizing your own worth is something that's also very big here. And I know I say this in my readings, I can't say it enough, but if you don't deem yourself worthy of something, then you can really screw that up, because you can look at the other person and say, why do you see me in this way? You know, and you really take away from yourself more than you're taking away from the other person in the relationship. You're really, I mean, it might hurt the other person that you don't believe the way that they're seeing you, or you think that they're trying to deceive you in some kind of way. But it hurts you. It hurts you, and that's what you really need to be looking at, because that can affect so many different areas of your life. If you don't see the value in yourself, it ruins your overall being able to really enjoy life itself, you know, living in the present moment. And I understand there has to be some sort of awareness that goes into other people and their intentions and everything like that, but you should be able to pick up on your own feeling of that. You know, where is that coming from, head or heart, you know, and how work that problem out, like we talked about. and not having to play these mind games, if this is part of this, which I think is kind of coming out, and so crazy. I kind of just did a reading that was similar to this, but right use of power. So knowing that you have this like knowledge, okay. And I know we're talking about future energies, which I'll get to in a second, but this needs to come through as well. Knowing that you can have the ability to be able to manipulate a situation and get information out of someone or get an understanding out of someone in the way that you want without having to completely full address that situation head on is not a good thing. There's so many not so good things that go into that. You know, you're not giving the other person the opportunity to be able to have the same mindset that you're in, to be able to understand you. But if they can't understand you because you're not being fully honest because you're trying to pull information out of them in a certain kind of way, that's totally unfair to that person and unfair to you. So sorry. I had to, one of the kittens came in the house and I had to get it out because it would just sit here and meow, meow, and meow, and meow. So cats are coming up very significant here. Maybe cats are following you, or that's kind of like your totem animal right now. So may look that up. You'll probably find a lot of more information. If you're looking something up and you see an animal, it could mean something different for everybody. So look it up. The first thing that kind of pops up is what the message is there for you. Okay. Future energies, crown games, right use of power. I think that you're going to be stepping into, if you aren't already for some of you, because the timeline might be a little different for everybody here, of where you have an opportunity to be patient. That's something I just heard in my head. An opportunity to be patient in a situation and allow things to unfold instead of trying to control the situation like we talked about with your mindset. That's a way of protection with yourself. So it's not, you know, I think we all of us, we really do manipulate situations because of fear. We're all afraid of what the outcome would be. And there's kind of an idea around that here to have patience with yourself with that because of that. You're not like a bad person or anything like that. I don't know. It's a protection mechanism. I'm gonna tell you something else too, is sometimes we develop those types of things through our parents as we grow up, or whatever we're around growing up, in a way to protect ourselves. Because when we're kids, we adapt to our surroundings. So whatever we're around is how we have to survive. When we're born, just like animals, their instinct, you know, is to survive. So your mindset adapts itself to the reality of where you are in order to survive where you are. And if that has to do with you having parents that are narcissists, manipulative in some kind of way, whatever way that is, whether that's, you know, using reverse psychology on you, or just whatever that looks like, we learn through those experiences to adapt to that situation so that our mindset can protect itself from our parents even, right? They're teaching us how to do these tactics, how to get these ways of doing things in order to protect yourself. It's a learned ability, you know? And I don't think that some people kind of understand that. It's not like you're a bad person, you're just trying to manipulate the situation. It's based off of a survival instinct. It has to do with fear. Now that doesn't necessarily go for everybody, so y'all don't take that as, but I mean it really does. It just depends on how you use it, which I'm getting to with the right use of power. Having that ability to do that and how you use that ability. You know, mortality. How does that kind of fit for you? My candle's just about to go out. How does that kind of fit for you in that idea? You know, are you using that ability for something good? Or are you using that for something not so great? You know, so you can use reverse psychology in a way of benefiting something, if you're trying to get them to see something in a more positive way, or if you're trying to get them to see it in your way, you know, there's differences there. So having the ability to do that, and it's not like it's just shifting your perspective of yourself and how you use it. You know, some people are like, oh, I'm so smart because I can figure out what that person's thinking because I can analyze what they said or whatever it is. And that's part of it. It's part of whatever you were taught to have to think about these kind of things. They're built into your system. But how do you use it? Do you use that smartness towards that wisdom that you have towards creating a not so great situation? Like, are you doing it just to benefit yourself, or are you doing it in a way of almost hurting the other person so you can get information that you need, you know, but just it's a way of protection. So as far as future energies, I feel like could be an opportunity here of moving in a direction in how you use that. How you use what it is that you have, that wisdom that you have, the ability to be able to see things in the way that you do, to analyze things in the way that you do, for the right reasons, the right use of power. How strong are you, right? And using that. We'll get more. So let's see what the tarot says. Page of Pentacles. So this could be you coming in with some sort of offer or having a solid new start here in a situation. Using what you've learned up until this point and really playing that out moving forward. What can you tell me about this? Your Power in love. The Hanged Man. So really shifting that perspective is how you're going to have the most solid new start. I do feel like you're kind of trying to go backwards in some kind of way. Maybe this is a past situation, or maybe this is just like, I don't want to mess this up this go around, or if maybe you're getting offered some sort of new love situation. It's like, I don't want to mess this up the same way I have in the past. Using that wisdom, those skills that you have in a beneficial way. King of Cups in reverse. Yeah, guys. King of Cups in reverse is emotional manipulation. It can be emotionally manipulative energy. I feel like for some of you, this is something that you've kind of just understood about yourself. For others of you, this is someone that's around you. Scorpio energy and Pisces stuff. I just said that, didn't I? There's the Magician in reverse. This is another card of manipulation. You may be seeing someone else in a way of them being the ones that kind of emotionally manipulated you in some kind of way for their benefit, and being strong and not allowing that to unfold. Yeah, because you have this Three of Swords here, which is that card of heartbreak. In reverse, it's like healing past that. You could be someone in your life that's having a solid new start and seeing someone else in a different way of them being emotionally manipulative. But this could also represent you and how you're seeing yourself. Take how it resonates for some of you guys. Wishing that you would have saw things differently, or wishing the other person would have saw things differently is something else that's here. Aries energy is here for me as well. Let's get some more before I keep going. What is the Page of Pentacles here? You have the Four of Swords. So you're thinking about this. Why is the Hanged Man here? You have the Knight of Wands. Three of Wands. Why is the Magician here? Reverse. Ace of Swords. What? Okay. And Death just came out. I'm getting two different kinds of scenarios. I'm getting both perspectives here. So I'm going to try to go through it and read it like that. Whether this is you or your person's energy, I'm seeing both perspectives. Wow. Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. That's a card of reuniting, getting out of your stress, getting out of seeing past your fears, right? Getting out of your illusions, maybe having sleepless nights or having nightmares or having dreams about this person, or just getting in your head a lot, kind of getting out of that. Chariot here, moving in a positive direction, getting out of your head here, and having harmony and peace in your life. For some of you and others of you, there's two very different scenarios that I'm feeling here, guys. I'm going to get some message cards too and conversation wise. Okay. So think about this. Look at the way this Four of Swords, this girl's looking at me here. Okay. I feel like this is somebody here and this is somebody here, but someone in this situation here is at a point where they're wanting to start fresh or start over, offer something here with this Page of Pentacles. Solid new start, opportunity for something. The Four of Swords is saying that whichever this is, you're sitting on this, you're thinking about this, you're kind of resting on this idea or this thought of a solid new start for yourself with this person, however that looks for which scenario. You're trying to change your perspective of how you're seeing the Knight of Wands energy, how you're seeing this person, how you're seeing this thought around who they are as a person and why they are in this way. This could be a very impulsive energy, very quick, flighty in and out kind of energy that's here. Changing your perspective of how you're seeing yourself as something else that's here. How you maybe have been impulsive, how you maybe have kind of been really hot and cold, not really been that, stable. This could also be the way you're seeing your person. Then going from that to this idea around, waiting for someone to offer you something, or waiting for someone to see something in the way that you have. Waiting for someone to transform, waiting for them to mature, waiting for them to see it evolve in a different way, see things in the way that you're seeing things, all that kind of information. Seeing that how you've kind of also manipulated, or for the other version, manipulated a situation to where you were more focused on yourself, I feel like, in this scenario, and not as much focused on the other person, and kind of just now realizing that. And then for the other person, it's like you're waiting for this person to be someone that they weren't, or looking at them like someone that they were going to be, but they didn't ever kind of meet that expectation that you had. So then you go from that to one of you kind of understanding and seeing things in a way of it being somewhat not everything that you're wanting, not everything that you needed for yourself in order to be able to move forward, in order for you to be able to manifest what you want, to gain what it is that you want. It's like you're opening yourself up to this new idea. And for the other person, it's like, well, I'm realizing that what I was missing was actually inside of me this whole time in order to really be able to transform this opportunity in the way that it needed to be transformed and in what I wanted. It was actually within inside of me. It was the way that I was kind of interpreting the situation, or how I was handling the situation, or the games that I was playing in the situation of, you know, like I said earlier about hurting yourself in a situation. And that expectation that's kind of placed on that as well. So one of you kind of is in a mindset of changing your perspective of how you're seeing the situation, the person, what you were waiting for that maybe has never or won't ever kind of come together or transpire, and wrapping your head around that new idea or thought in order to be able to close out a cycle and move forward. The other person here is in the mindset of having some kind of a realization within themselves of how they're seeing themselves, how they're seeing the way that things could have transformed, how they maybe got in their head a little bit about that, how they got in their own way a little bit about it, and how they want to heal a situation, and I feel like have some kind of rebirth or bring things back together. So in a sense, the two of you are both kind of in this place of Four of Wands, wanting peace, wanting harmony, wanting this reuniting kind of energy here with the Four of Wands, but seeing things in a different perspective, but both seeing things in a different perspective when it comes to yourselves, and not so much as far as the other person goes. Even though the person here on the bottom is focused on them, so the other person at this time, it has to do with them not seeing things clearly for themselves, and what's benefiting them, what's not benefiting them, allowing someone else to really kind of manipulate their mindset here as something else that's here, and being that they've placed themselves in that situation, waiting for something to transpire. It's almost like they were dependent on this person to offer them that emotional supportive energy that they were looking for, instead of kind of relying on that within themselves. And they're having this realization of that, and that's something that they're, you know, closing this cycle out here. They're ending within themselves, is not kind of relying on that as much. This is the part of their healing process moving forward. Oh my gosh, I feel like that took me forever to interpret what I was feeling, because I don't know if y'all can tell the way it came out, but like the first part of it was, felt like I was talking to one person, and the second part I was talking to the other person, and then they kind of came out together. Hope that made sense. It's kind of scrambled in my head a little bit, you know, like a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, so let's see what person, I'm going to refer to person A and person B down here. We're going to have a conversation with one another. What does person A want to say? I'm scared of rejection. Right on top of that Page of Pentacles. This person is the one that I feel like would be the one to offer something here with that Page of Pentacles, is that messenger. Could be even apology for some of you, but being afraid of rejection. So what would person B say to person A about I'm scared of rejection? Can you just give me a card for person B? What would they say? I can't handle your love. So person B may feel a little bit guarded. There may be a little bit of an intensity there when it comes to that Four of Swords, like needing a break or needing a rest to kind of think about things in a way, because this person may be learning about where their boundaries lie and how to uphold those boundaries, and scared of rejection is the other person kind of sees that and knows that that's where that other person B's at. So that's why they're kind of afraid of that rejection taking place. What would person A say to person B? The passion I feel is overwhelming. I don't know how to handle this. Look at that. But neither one of you know how to handle this. What would person B say to person A? It's dark without you. So one person's afraid of that. I feel like the more intimacy of their connection. And the other person is afraid of just not having person A. Super interesting reading we're doing here. What would person A say to person B? Okay, well, 2 cards came out, but they have hurt me. I want out. I think that person A recognizes things about themselves and how that, oh gosh, you know what, guys? I'm gonna tell you something like I talked about up here, and this is why this is coming up, I think. When you realize that there are traits that you carry that you were actually, like we talked about, that you adapted to within your dynamic around you, as a way of security, what you were taught, but it's not who you truly are as a person inside, not what your soul represents, and you have that realization and how that's affected you in your life. Oh my God, that's an awakening. First off, it's like but it's also, there's a lot of heavy emotions that go into that, and there's a lot of insecurities that come out of that. There's a lot of blame. There's a lot of, you're mad, you're upset at the people that kind of have influenced you in this way. There's just a lot of different kinds of emotions that come out of that you have to wrap your head around. And I think that person A is kind of in the place to where they don't want to feel this way. They're trying to get their emotions in balance with this idea that they have, and how it's gotten there, and how they've become that person. All those different emotions, anger, sadness, it's just all those is something that they're trying to get their head on right with. And I think that person B is in this period of, the 3 of Wands is waiting. Don't treat me the way that you do. I don't deserve it. Yeah. See, this is such a significant understanding of how each other works and why. And I think that this is part of why this has come to the surface, is knowing that, person B knows that they don't deserve what person A is kind of, how they've influenced them. And person A knows that. They know that too, and that's why they're looking at themselves in the way that they are. That's why this self-awareness even came up. What would person A say to person B? I am blocked. It's right on top of the Magician in reverse. This person A feels blocked from being able to manifest what it is they want. They don't feel like they have everything that they need. This person could also be someone that feels like person B's like a healing energy to them. I wish I could be fully honest with you. Yeah, it's right on top of that Ace of Swords, which is that truth, that clarity. I think that person B may hold back a little bit because I think that they know that person A is maybe in a very vulnerable spot, or a very uncomfortable place in their life, and their triggers may be very significant because of that. Their insecurities may be very on alert, if you will, and so Pile B doesn't feel like they can really adjust themselves in the way that they really need to and be fully honest, because they're kind of working away around that sensitivity of person A, not trying to hurt their ego in any kind of way. You know what I mean? And person A, I think, is just having a hard time understanding the dynamics of that within. Okay, Okay, what would person A say? Person B. Person A is a lot there to say. I can't let go of you, and why do I feel this way? I think on the Three of Swords, guys, I think that person A may have tried to kind of move forward, move on, or let go of this, and they don't understand why they can't let go of it, why they can't let go of you. It's I think it's really kind of weird for person A, because they may have been like person B, seeing them that Knight of Wands energy where it's real hot and cold, in and out. No, it's just kind of, I can come and go as I please, a kind of relationship kind of thing for you, or for person B. They have a hard time being able to do that. They don't understand why. What would person B say to person A? I'm obsessed with you. That flew right out right there. I think that the thing is though, I think that person B is, this obsessive kind of energy is something I think that they're trying to get over or get past. And we saw that codependency kind of thing come through. So that's something that's a part of that. They're trying to get past being able to rely on themselves emotionally and not relying on someone else to fulfill that void that they have. And that obsessive energy that comes out of that, needing that person there, you know, needing that person's love to reassure them that they're good emotionally, you know, and not having that is something this person's learning. So they're closing out, they're ending, you know, but I still feel like there's like I felt like, because that's Capricorn, Scorpio energy, which is I desire, so with obsession being there, but I said Capricorn, which could be the devil, but I just feel like that's significant as well, because I think that there's a lot of obsessive or maybe intrusive thoughts with pile B when it comes to how they feel about pile A. If you know what I mean. If you know what I'm getting at with the devil there. I don't know who I am anymore. I think that this transformation, remember we started here with the butterfly, limitless possibilities, has changed the two of you in the way that you see yourselves, is what we're talking about here, right? Not knowing really who you are anymore. Having this relationship has changed you as a person and how you see yourself, but for the better, you know, not being able to find balance within yourself, of understanding and within yourself. So let's get some overall message of advice for Mulholland. Having patience is something that's really important here, I feel like. You have distance, which is the number 14. So number 14 is Temperance, Sagittarius energy. But Temperance is being able to really find that balance within of what it is that you want, that you think about, that dream, that you think about, that wish, that hope, you know, that you have for things, and creating it into a balanced place, really being able to put it into a way of bringing it down to earth, how to make it a reality, if you will, but also internally, you know, being able to have that idea of everything internally of how you want things to go. Distance is the distance that's been created is part of what's bringing this internal balance within, and it's something that you can't accomplish in this connection together. To be able to see the higher perspective of things is something that you need to do on your own, because this is represent the higher perspective, spirit right here, and then these two would be the person A, person B, and they're both looking in opposite directions. And that sun there would be that clarity. The sun illuminates everything. Okay, so we have the star, which is what I saw here with stars in the sky. But seeing the higher perspective of this star energy, which is Aquarius energy, and what you believe in. And something that's unconventional is something else that's here with that being Aquarius. but what you really believe in. What is the hope for the future? What is it that you really want? What direction are you really being called here? And having that hope and that wish that's still a part of that, and that distance helping to close the gap, if that makes sense, so that you can understand things. This is the number 29, which is the number 11, and you also have the 4 of Wands here, so this could be a twin soul kind of connection that you're experiencing with 1111. But it says hard times are over. Look forward to an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. So I do feel like on top of that, you know, Crown of Games card there, that this is part of you moving forward, for both of you actually, and getting past like the harder times. Like I said, there's distance to close a gap. It's a weird thing to say, but also 1411 as an angel number. Look that up and see what that means, because I am seeing that here. Awakening. I'll put that on the board if I remember. Awakening, realization, shift, or discovery. Yeah, somebody's waking up here in this connection. You also have past life connection at the bottom of the deck. So there you go. I feel like there's somebody that's waking up to this connection and understanding the dynamics of it and what the purpose of it is. Yeah, in this lifetime. And embrace is here. So find peace in your current state of being. Trying to embrace the fun. Trying to embrace this here. Now that the kind of the distance is closing, I do feel like this is something that's coming in the future. But that the distance is closing here, and trying to create the fun out of things now. Looking forward to the abundance, the happiness, the enthusiasm, the positivity of things. This is part of this experience, how it kind of goes once you get past that realization, you know, the shift. It's an endless thing too, you know, you're always going to have these kind of realizations that come into play here in this connection. It always kind of evolving you or illuminating things to you that you didn't see before about yourself, so that you can be on that higher frequency, that higher level, higher vibration. Sometimes you just have to ride the wave you're given. If you remember in the beginning of your reading, I talked about the seahorse and riding the wave being one of my favorite kind of sayings there. So, wow, that's kind of awesome. It's coming back around full circle here, is riding the wave through this experience. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to take those that just came flopping out, and then we'll get a postcard from Spirit and some initials. Life is like the ocean. Sometimes it's calm seas and everything is smooth sailing. Other times you have to swim against the waves. So, wow. You have two different things here about waves, and about, you know, sometimes you ride the wave and sometimes you have to swim against the wave. Sometimes things are calm and sometimes they aren't in this connection. And this is what I was talking about here. Sometimes there's hard times. To be able to have that realization within yourself, you have to fight against, you know, when you wouldn't know how easy it is to ride the wave if you didn't fight against it all the time within yourself. Fighting this connection could be also something that's here as well. For both of you. Trust in the ending is followed by a new beginning. So that's what I was talking about here. With distance and looking at the star, there's definitely still some sort of future here. Everything that you want is on the other side of fear. Fear is what we talked about here with the opportunity. Everything that you want is on the other side of fear. And you have a pineapple here, which is that sweetness that's there. Yeah. Okay. Let's get some key cards, and actually I'm gonna get some charms instead. I feel the charms today. Okay. So we have Beauty and the Beast, which is the twin soul dynamic, by the way. But there's a time, you know, of the awakened experience of the love, falling in love with Belle, right? There's that awakening experience that goes into that, and that's how everything changes. And then you see everything come together, which is that abundance and happiness, and everything comes together. The darkness, you know, then there's light. Golden opportunity. Every time I see this is what I think about. Golden opportunity. I actually bought this when I was a kid in a cave that we went into with my grandparents. Having that golden opportunity is something that's there. A wish come true. It looks like a bottle, like a genie in a bottle. That song just started playing in my head. It's an old song. Genie in a bottle. Christina Aguilera, by the way. My God, that's an old song. So this butterfly here, it reminds me of these butterflies that are down here that I saw. And then you have that caterpillar, which, guess what, guys? The caterpillar, which is purple, and you have the purple butterfly here. So this is about you evolving and changing. I mean, how significant is that? I can't make that up. That's awesome. And then you have the mushroom, which is the shadow part of yourself that's grown here. Also, this relationship kind of growing out of nowhere, something else that's here. And then you have the mannequin. So looking at yourself is something that's here, and the value within yourself, like we talked about before, and who you are as a person. You know, these things that we see in ourselves, these are not who we are. These are just things that we've just adapted to. And then you spend the rest of your life trying to really find out who your authentic side is, who you really are. You know, after you have this awareness here, this awakening. Okay, so we have the siren here, or the mermaid here. So something calling you in. You could feel like this person's calling you in, or they could feel like you're calling them in. And then you have an H, an R, HR, Y, M or W, D, F, L, Z, E, A, S, T, Y, O, or Q, and S. Q and S. Look at this. QAS. Questions and answers. Questions and answers. You know, that's something that's coming up. I just heard you'll get the answers that you need. Huh. Thank you. TY is here. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to hold this up so y'all can see it, because this is a pretty long reading here. And I'm going to leave it here. So kind of different from what I was expecting, but I hope you enjoyed this. I don't know why. I feel like I'm missing something in the bowl, so but maybe some of these initials could spell something out for you here. Look, Florida. FL's right there. And DM. Divine masculine energy here. Divine feminine energy here. Look at that. Okay. Getting off of it. So thanks for being here, guys. Thanks for all your love, all your support, and all your kindness. And I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, Pal 2. So if you chose the Lunar Soul Tarot and this compass here, so it's pointing east. Interesting. That east is actually where the sun rises. So the sun being part of your reading, as maybe some clarity that you've came into, an awakening maybe that you've had, moving towards the light, moving toward what brings you happiness and positivity in your life, finding the joy in your life, you know, and wanting to move towards that, or having that light shown, has shown you things, kind of that point also of maybe a new beginning for yourself. Also, also represents the air element as far as in tarot. So communication, new growth even, you know, with the sun energy, having to have the sun to have new growth. So new awareness, new beginnings, and possible communication. Communicating things like having this new awareness within. It's just this energy of moving, wanting to move forward with what you now know, right? Okay. So you have the Lunar Soul Tarot, but I'm going to put it to the side. I'm going to grab some of the Shaman Oracles real quick. I'm going to get past, present, and future, or at least try to. We'll see how it comes out, and I'll see you in just a second. Okay guys, so we're going to take a look first at your past energy. Also, something else with the compass is you may have felt like you've lost your way, and now you're coming out of that, seeing the light. So your past energy here is the Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain, number 22. So this is what you're doing here. You are changing pain into something useful for yourself moving forward. This is the awakening, this is the light, this is the clarity that you've come into. You are taking the pain that you've experienced and you are looking at, I feel like, on yourself and how that's kind of changed who you are and things that you see in yourself that you didn't necessarily see before. And this could be part of a connection, or it could be just, you know, I do kind of want to focus on love here, but this is also a message of just your life in general. You have the number 22 here, so that might be relevant. Also, the number 2 is finding that balance within. Now, obviously, there's the full energy here as well, so that's Aries energy for me, and that self talks about self, first house. So maybe you've kind of felt like a fool, or you've done things that are foolish, and kind of embracing that has been part of your healing process. Embracing that you know, the decisions maybe that you've made in the past had to do more with trying to feel secure, trying to be in control, and not so much as to what was kind of best in the situation for you, or seeing things in a different kind of way of what was beneficial at the time. For some of you, you may have took like a impulsive leap towards something that didn't quite work out in your favor. And this could be just in your life, you know, just overall in your life, doesn't have to pertain just to love. But the pain from that has you've really gone within, kind of that hermit's journey. You've really been able to go within deep and see everything in a different scale, a different perspective than the way that you saw it before. So you've transmuted that pain that you felt. You've embraced that full energy. It's like looking at past mistakes and embracing them, looking at them and going, you don't know till you know, and seeing how you've changed and evolved, and you're not that same person that you were then. Really kind of putting those dots together so that you can value yourself in a new way, especially when it comes to relationships and being worthy of a relationship, being worthy of happiness, you know, with that sun energy coming in again, being worthy of new beginnings, what it is that you deserve. It's like something happening to you and you saying, well, I deserve this anyways, which you didn't deserve it. But seeing it in that way of, it may be part of karma coming back, but it's to straighten things out. It's to find balance within yourself, right? It's there for a reason. Just like everything that's happened, the choices that you made, even those were hard, they were painful decisions and choices that you've made, but being able to recognize your flaws of that and why those choices affected you in the way that they did is making you really look at why did I choose to do that? And what was behind that? Having that self-awareness be a part of that, right? So that you move forward and you're not in that energy anymore. You've really transmuted that. So with the way that you've recognized and kind of put the dots together about, okay, I made this decision and this is what I learned from it and this is where I am now, and now I know this about myself and why I made the choices that I made. And not being attached to that story, that old story of yourself, is something that's kind of moving you forward. Okay, what is your present energy? Number 32. So 222 is here. Jolt web. Connectivity. This is you really connecting the dots, like I said before. This is you really, and this is number 5, so that change is taking place here. This could be part of attached to some sort of loss that you're starting to see within yourself, of how maybe some abandonment wounds have influenced your decision making when it comes to your stability, your security, and how you've kind of had that survival instinct attached to that abandonment wound that's there, of being able to maintain a certain kind of security within yourself, needing to protect yourself, being very guarded in relationships, and how that's influenced the whole relationship altogether, and possibly even kind of in a way hurt the other person, or you not being able to really enjoy the experience of the relationship because of that, whether that's someone that was in your life for a season or for a long period of time. But recognizing and seeing relationships in a different way as well, like how you live out those relationships. If this is something that you can see as kind of like a gift from God in a way, a gift from the universe, to be able to have that experience in a relationship, and what you can learn from it, and really being really fulfilled into that idea of feeling that joy, feeling that sun energy, and not being so guarded, so protected, that you're not allowing yourself to even live in that present moment of the experience itself, but maybe being too far worried about what the future has of that, or what the other person's hiding, or what their any kind of illusions that kind of are a part of that, or play into that. You've really grown from this, right? 222 is about everything coming into everything coming into balance. Internally, being able to understand everything and kind of take the elements within and align them together so that you can have that calmness or that balance about how you feel about things and why you feel a certain way about things. And there's just like a stillness that goes into this where you are currently, like a pause, like a moment of contemplation of where you've been, really connecting all those dots together, like creating those puzzle pieces in your mind, putting all of them together to create that picture of what has transpired up until this point and who you are, and how other people, other situations, other things have really played into all of this, and how you have been a biggest part in creating this web. You've been the spider here, but all these different things that have kind of got caught up in your web, you're really looking at yourself in a way of creating and taking responsibility for where you are and how you are. You're owning up to this, right? Especially when it has to do with relationships. This is what I really want to focus on. And this isn't just love. I feel like this is just relationships in your life. How you've allowed others to affect it as well. When something lands in your web, when spirit kind of puts something in your web around you, you choose how you're going to deal with that situation. If you're going to allow it to destroy your web, and how delicate a web can be, right? And I think that you're kind of recognizing that you have felt there's like this delicate side to you that you have felt, and why you needed to protect yourself that you didn't see inside of you before. Like there's this vulnerability that's there, and not such a hard exterior now. It's like that's starting to melt away. And in order for you to allow yourself to really be receptive to new things, like that sun energy, be receptive to new ideas, to new beginnings, to new connections, to new experiences, to new thought processes, to all this kind of newness. Really kind of, now that you have this new understanding, you're allowing yourself to open up to that idea of not being so guarded, so protective. Particularly for some of you, how that's actually affected a relationship or dynamic that you've had that's important to you. So your future energy here, beloved, radical acceptance. This is also the number 2, so 2 is here. So partnerships, balance, duality, decisions. The 2 of Swords keeps coming to mind. So making certain decisions and directing yourself on the right path of that sun, following the sun, following what makes you happy. Beloved, you know, setting your heart on fire here. Kind of allowing yourself to open up to the idea of a relationship that you feel really passionate about, feel really driven about, allowing yourself to set your heart on fire. Where maybe you were protecting yourself before, you're opening yourself up to this idea. You're not, I just feel like that you're letting this wall down. And this is this radical acceptance. It's like you're finally accepting the way that you feel. Not feeling the need to guard yourself here any longer. You've kind of killed off all of these little anxious bugs that have been around you, around your heart. It's like you can almost, if this is a relationship, it's something that you can't really fight anymore. It's something that you've just accepted, have this acceptance that's here. Because maybe you have been really guarded and trying to fight that off, and now you're realizing that I'm just gonna have to accept that the way that I feel is just the way that I feel here, regardless of the situation. 2-2 may be also significant. I'll look that up and put it somewhere on the screen. So this is future energy. So we're talking about, for some of you, this is the future of what is coming for you. Right, this is what's going to happen here. Is this radical acceptance is going to take over now that you've kind of allowed yourself to be in that receptive energy. It's also acceptance. This card's turned up here. It's the 8 of Swords. So talk about guarded, and the anxiety kind of getting in the way of things here. But you know, this is this realization that you're having. She's the one that's kept herself up there guarded. Her hands aren't really tied. It's all an illusion. Getting yourself out of this and realizing that, though, is like this aha moment in a way. I haven't been allowing myself to really just love, and it's been here the whole time. You know, that kind of thing. Releasing that. Okay. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot of 2s, and there you go. There's one right there. The High Priestess, Pisces energy, which I think we're still in Pisces season right now. When do we get out of Pisces season? The end of March. But this is a timeless reading, so maybe relevant though. Let's get one more quick shuffle. Okay. You may have some decisions that are coming into play here of accepting the way that you're feeling. What can you tell me for pile 2? I saw the High Priestess again, but it didn't come out. The Emperor energy, Aries energy. Again, that kind of self-focused, doing what's best for yourself. Also intuitive as well, of doing what's best for yourself here. taking the lead here. Especially with compass being here, you know, taking the lead and moving towards what it is that you want for yourself. You have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. You remember we talked about this, like, thought of negative karma being a part of your experience in the past. And it's like the Emperor and the Wheel of Fortune is, you're taking responsibility for the not great things that have happened or transpired in relationships within your life, the choices that you've made. That's a huge, huge significant step here for you. Look at that, the World. Yeah, that's a huge, huge ending of a cycle here within. This is a learning, this is what you've learned. This is a learning experience. So having not such a great cycle, or a less fortunate event that's kind of transpired, or the ones that have transpired, taking on that responsibility with those is such a great energy to be in. This is, again, you moving towards that sun energy. We also have all the fixed signs here for me, so that's Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, and Scorpio energy. Can you give me some more for pile 2? Look at this. Okay, so there's the Chariot, Cancer energy, and then you have the Ten of Wands, which is that radical change. So this, I feel like, is part of what's the radical change here for you. The Chariot is moving, is getting in your security, taking, you know, that Chariot is the home, taking your home, like the Cancer energy, that shell, that protective shell. We talked about that, vulnerability that's there, needing to protect yourself. Getting that and moving it towards what the best direction is for yourself emotionally, which is, it keeps coming up. The Ten of Wands in reverse is actually the card of radical acceptance. So it's kind of crazy that you have it here with radical acceptance. It's ending a burden. It's letting things go. It's saying, I'm accepting my emotions of this. I'm accepting how I feel about this. I'm getting control of my emotions here and moving in the direction that I need to move for myself. Accepting the situation, accepting where you are, accepting a relationship. But it's talking about your feelings of that. That's what you're accepting. You're accepting the way you feel about it. This is a significant change here that's taking place for you in your life, where you're finally releasing that burden of those bad experiences that you've had in the past, and the guilt, the shame, everything that's kind of went into that. All of those are part of the ego, which is the sun energy, which keeps coming up. You know, shame, guilt, all that stuff is part of your ego self. It's part of the way that you see yourself. It's part of the way that you see your goals and your ambitions and what you can accomplish. It's based off of your ego and how others are perceiving you, you know, how you want to be perceived by others. All of that is that's where all that kind of comes from. And I think that that's been like an awareness that you've came into, of letting that go and changing, maybe possibly even accepting that others are going to kind of perceive you or perceive what you want and the decisions that you make moving forward in the way that they want. And there's no way you can kind of control that. You can only control yourself here with the Chariot energy. So why is the Emperor here? And that in itself is a huge weight off your shoulders. Huge weight off your shoulders. That's just so much unnecessary burdens placed on you. And I think this is part of what you're realizing. Allowing yourself to be in a position to where you are so focused on how others are perceiving you or a situation or your past or whatever that is, and really being hard on yourself there. Changing that is letting those burdens down so that you can do what's best for yourself and move forward and make the choices and have acceptance and to make those decisions based off of that. What sets your heart on fire, you know, really. What you desire. What would bring you happiness. So the Emperor here, you have the Seven of Swords in reverse. Yeah, this is changing. not trying to be so much in control, but doing what you feel like is right for you and that would be beneficial to you moving forward. Not trying to be so strategic in that as well. Not trying to, not trying to really manipulate circumstances in order to gain the control it is that you need to move forward. Really changing the way that you're seeing, also the control that you have in your own life and the ability that you have in your own life. Because when you release the burdens of how others perceive you, especially when you're talking about a relationship of any kind, you're releasing how the need for it to control the way other people are seeing you. You are changing the way that you're moving forward. Just moving forward in a much better way. And you don't have to be strategic. You don't have to be, so much so of that, because if you're following your heart's desire, if you're following your own inner guidance, your inner compass, right? And listening to that, really that's the most balance that you'll feel. Maybe that's something that you just came into, is when you do that, you feel most at balance. When you're trying to fight against things, it's when you're trying to control things, when you don't feel imbalanced. Having that idea. What is the Wheel of Fortune here in reverse? King of Wands in reverse. Maybe placing a lot of unrealistic expectations on yourself is something that's here as well. More Aries energy. Again, that sun energy is here. There's a lot of like fiery kind of energy that I'm feeling here. You weren't focused possibly on the things that could benefit you in the past. You were more focused on the negative parts of things, and that's really like what has maybe messed things up for you in the past when it comes to the decisions that you've made. Not looking at the benefit of things, but looking at focusing more on what you've lost and not what you could be gaining. Why is the World here? The Magician in reverse. More Aries energy. Very much this is focused on yourself here, guys. And I'm going to move these up a little bit because I know I'm down a little too far. So the World with the Magician in reverse, again, is you kind of recognizing this feeling like you don't have what it is that you need is part of, I feel like, that acceptance. I feel like you could be just accepting that a situation that you wanted as well may not have worked out for you in the way that you wanted. But learning the lesson within that. Recognizing that there's more elements than just the material is something else that's coming up there as well. For some of you. Yeah, and it goes into that ego thing, right? Recognizing that there's so many more elements to you than just what you can create for yourself outside of yourself, but what is inside of yourself. For some of you, maybe you didn't get to, maybe you had you were trying to close out a cycle or somewhere that didn't quite go in exactly the way that you planned. But accepting that maybe that just what you were trying to gain is not going exactly like you planned, but whatever's happening for you is happening for you in the way that it's meant to, and that's again that acceptance that's coming into play. So it's like the web didn't kind of work out exactly like you wanted it to work out, but it's still sturdy, it's still structured, and it will still work for you moving forward, right? It'll still benefit you moving forward. You can still get what you need out of this. Okay, and that's kind of the lesson here. Why is the Chariot here? The Page of Swords in reverse. not being able to really be fully vocal with and being fully honest with the way you express yourself, and having the idea around everyone else's kind of reaction to that being a part of what you've gained control of, which is kind of a repeat message in a different way. Also, maybe you've gained some control over your not allowing, I feel this energy of not allowing yourself to be so impulsive with either communication or just ideas, or it's like not learning or learning how to control yourself and how that comes in through your expression. It's like getting control of your emotions so that you don't say things that you don't mean to say in the moment. Taking control of that, stepping up to that, right? So when you're in, even when you're in like a disagreement, not letting your emotions get the best of you to where you're actually expressing not such great things here with the Page of Swords. That air energy. Why is the Ten of Wands here in reverse? The Eight of Cups in reverse. There could be something here that you haven't completely, like, you know that there's still healing that has to be done here. There may be a situation that you haven't moved on from, or that you're accepting that you haven't moved on from that situation or that person. You have the Devil here in reverse. What's the message here? Can you give me one more? The Capricorn energy is here. For some of you, there may be an idea of feeling trapped, or you have felt trapped, releasing yourself of that in order to go back to a situation to have some kind of change take place. Or maybe it's for some of you, you couldn't change the way someone walked away from you, you know? And that maybe that's something that was for the best. Moving away from a situation may be something that's for the best for you in your life, or trying to release yourself from toxicities is something else that's here, things that you know aren't good for you. Knowing that those things need to change. Those are just... Tell me more about this Eight of Cups. I'm missing something. The Six of Cups in reverse. This is growing up and letting go. This is about like moving on. This card in reverse is literally, it could be a card of, you know, moving from home, or moving from a certain kind of environment that could have became toxic for you in some kind of way. Growing up, letting go of the past. Accepting the situation like it is so you can let go of that past. Releasing some insecurities that have been following you since you were young, you know, of things that happened to you when you were young. Still having some emotional attachment to those things, but knowing that you need to release yourself from those things. This could also be a past person, you know, having that acceptance of that experience of what it was and letting it go. What else can you tell me about this Ten of Wands? Can I have one more overall? There's that Eight of Swords. This is what you've been kind of trapped in your head about. It's like taking responsibility for some decisions that you've made. Now you're in a place to where going back to a situation, you could recognize that you're different from when you were in the past. That's what we saw here too. You're in more control of your emotional self and how you express yourself, not letting other outside things kind of get in the way of that. Knowing that being trapped in your head here with this Eight of Swords has been somewhat of that burden that you've been carrying. It's been keeping you from being able to really pursue what you want moving forward, not feeling trapped anymore. What's the Six of Cups here in reverse? The Hanged Man in reverse. This is something that you've thought about a lot. Something that you're in two different mindsets, right? Like we talked about over here, the duality of things, of the past, and how there was some healing that needed to take place there. But you've kind of grown past things, and you see, I feel like it's yourself though. I feel like you're seeing how you've kind of interpreted situations or relationships or love, you know, just whatever decisions that you've made in your past, and you've kind of held on to that for so long. This is what you're releasing. You're not letting it get be a part of your experience moving forward, so you don't get trapped in your head. You're just having acceptance for how things happened in order to be able to move forward and have a new beginning for yourself. And this could be with someone in particular. Accepting how that situation transpired. What do you want out of this, though? The Tower in reverse. This is picking up the pieces and putting them back together. Anything else you can tell me about that Tower in reverse? Scorpio energy and Pisces energies here. Tower in reverse. The Moon in reverse. This is really heavy about getting out of your own head. Maybe even changing someone's perspective here of the past. But getting out of your own head in order to put the pieces back together here. And this could just represent what you're doing internally for yourself, you know? But we have beloved here, so. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. That's a lack. Feeling a lack. And the Nine of Cups is under that with the Six of Swords. And the Lovers. The King of Swords in reverse. Maybe you weren't honest to someone here in a situation, or you weren't being honest with yourself about what you wanted. And there's two cards here going backwards for healing, you know. And you have this Knight of Cups with this Knight of Pentacles. This is an offer, a lack of an offer here for some of you. A lack of offering something. Interesting. The Nine of Pentacles pre-Empress energy in reverse can be just a lack mindset. Feeling like a situation didn't have everything it was that you really needed, or you couldn't, it wasn't part of your web, you know? How it played a part in your web, and you couldn't kind of fit that in there. And getting out of your head is such a big part of this. Okay. So, let's get some cards. I want to get one more thing though. I want to see one more thing. Let's get some of these actually. What's coming towards pile 2? What's coming towards pile 2 in love? Oh, come on now. Opening up just landed in my lap, and it's actually the moon energy here. And also true love is right here, wanting to show itself to me. It almost came out. Which is, you have the heart here again. Opening up to love is what's in your future. And confession. Okay, guys. Either someone's opening up to you about how they feel about you, about that they love you, or you're opening up to someone. That's that acceptance of having your heart on fire there. And maybe you weren't honest about that, or this person wasn't honest about that in the past, because you do have the Lovers with the, and there's the Fool. You do have the Lovers with the King of Swords in reverse under that, which can be someone that can't see things logically, or is not being honest with how they feel. What else can you tell me? What's coming towards pile 2? Retreat, manifestation, and obsession. Blank soulmate is at the back of the deck, and the blank card. Maybe in this time spent alone, we're talking about what's coming towards you, you're manifesting what it is that you want, but they're saying here is be careful about these obsessive thoughts or focusing on too much at one time. Needing to take a step back so that you can really manifest what it is that you want for yourself. There's something I'm missing here. Hold on. I'm going to pull some of these though while I'm thinking about this. Not letting past experiences or past energies affect you too much. That's what all this is though. Having that acceptance and getting out of your own head and really kind of manifesting what it is that you want, because law of attraction, thoughts become things. Reflecting on the past and current situations so that you can open up and manifest love for yourself, and being honest with yourself about how you feel and not getting in your head or letting your head get in the way of that. What can you tell me here for pile 2? Boss. Oh. Bond. With the heart on it, guys. And it's the number 6, which is the Lovers in tarot. There's a connection here, obviously. Come on. You got soulmate and blank slate. Either you're coming into a new connection or you're reuniting here with someone from your past, or putting the pieces back together with that Tower in reverse. You may feel like you're ready for this. You may feel like the acceptance is here. The divine will provide you with love when you're ready. You may feel like you're just ready for this. You have a special kind of bond with this person that you feel in the heart. You feel it, but allowing yourself to feel it, allowing yourself to love. I can't get over all these hearts that are here. So bizarre, so crazy. Allowing yourself to feel love and be loved, I think, is also a huge part of this. because there's wings on the heart. There's music here. Music may be relevant here. And then fire here. You know, it's like allowing your heart to sing, allowing your heart to take flight, allowing your heart to feel the desire that it feels. It's allowing yourself to love, opening up to love, being honest there. Whereas before you were so closed off, remember? So advice for pile 2 moving forward. The moon. Of course, that's going to come out of advice. And it's the number 21, which is actually the World of Tarot, which you do have. You also have the Phoenix at the bottom of the deck. And it says, be prepared to be renewed after a period of crisis. Number 25. So that's that Scorpio energy, that transformational kind of effect that's taking place with the Phoenix. That's what that represents there. The ashes, coming from the ashes, which is what you're experiencing. And being prepared for that renewal after you've had this kind of transformation take place, you know, within your heart space. I think that somebody's opening up. They're like their heart chakra is becoming online, right? So the moon is here. So they're representing the moon here is also as this past energy that's behind you. Not to let the moon get in the way of a new cycle for yourself in the world, number 21 there. Pay attention to your intuition at this time and move ahead confidently, not letting your fear get in the way of that, right? Don't focus on too much. Don't focus on, you know, one thing too much that you get too much in your head about the situation. And when that happens, kind of take a step back and have that confidence take over. Confidence in who you are and what you want. And whether that's something that's good or bad, it's something that's meant to happen for you, right? Because that's what you're accepting. If it works out, then great, that's meant to happen. If it doesn't, then it's, you know, that's meant to happen too. Okay, I'm going to get some of these. These are the Drive inspirational quote cards. Can I have some messages for pile 2, please? Came out kind of weird, but I'm going to take it. Surround yourself with people who make you hungry for life, touch your heart, no kidding, and nourish your soul. Yeah, that's what you're figuring out here. Look at this. So we have trust. These two came out in pile 1. Trust that an ending is followed by a new beginning. Yep. And then everything you want is on the other side of fear, which is really important right here with this moon. We just got done talking about that. Okay, I want to read the bottom one too. Normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk on, but no flowers grow. And this is kind of this idea, which I love this saying actually. This is the kind of idea that your reading is around, you know. That this may be different from what you've kind of imagined for yourself in some kind of way. Normality is the paved road. So maybe staying clear of something that didn't feel right in the heart, you know, didn't feel right to love. It didn't feel right for you to love in the same way that you feel now. Not trusting in it. And this is saying, you know, it's comfortable, you're secure there, but no flowers grow there. There's no joy there. There's no happiness there. And this is this whole reading for you of what you're changing with following your heart. Okay, celebrate life, of course. Dearest you, we need you to know that you can change things miraculously for you and everyone and make things right. It's never too late. Forgiveness is about releasing yourself from the burden of an old story. Didn't I say that? With the full energy and transmuting that pain, you know, releasing that burden of the past. One in which you are a victim of someone else's actions or your own. You don't need to carry this around. You can set yourself free. And this is what you've been doing, you know, releasing yourself of the past. So the Six of Cups in reverse. Growing, evolving, changing, letting go. Even advocating for good because of this experience requires your forgiveness to be effective. Forgiveness is never about condoning things that were done. It's about letting yourself off the hook from carrying the burden. Wow. It's about letting yourself off the hook from carrying the burden. That's really big here for you guys, because that's all you see over here with this Ten of Wands in reverse. Knowing that that's hurting you more than anyone. Letting that go. You know, if you can forgive others, you can forgive yourself so that you can move forward. Resentment and hurt are like viruses that spread to others. And that is the opposite of what you really have desired, right? And so that desire is coming into play. And then also the virus with the spreading it to others, you know, having that in your heart, that resentment, or holding on to things that you're having a hard time forgiving a situation or forgiving someone, and letting that kind of take a hold of you, and being guarded, feeling like you need to be guarded because you can't forgive a situation or someone. Acceptance is part of this, right? Allowing yourself to do all that is, you know, imagine what your life would be like without the burdens that you carry when you do not forgive. This is about forgiving yourself, I feel like, just as much as it's about forgiving others in your past. I think that maybe you have forgiven others in your past, but you've never forgiven yourself. And that's something that you've held on to. And that's why that Aries energy kept coming out with self, you know, first house. It's focused on yourself and how you've made decisions for yourself, and really like releasing yourself from that burden that you're carrying on your back of not forgiving yourself for the decisions that you've made, but getting out of your head so that you can experience life and have, you know, fulfill that desire that you have on your heart, not letting fear be a part of that, of feeling the need to protect yourself every time you turn around or every time you're in a situation, and letting that affect others around you as well that just want to love you or want to express their love, or, you know, or just be with you, or have an experience with you, or just even be a friend with you, you know. Okay, so key cards. Actually, no, I'm not doing key cards. I'm doing I'm doing cards, so just remember. Y'all have the eraser in the fogs. Oh my gosh, and you have the honey here. Perfect. Exactly. And then the jukebox with the music. Music may be really relevant. You may have a lot of messages coming through in music for you. Gosh, I missed jukeboxes. I wish we still had those. Those were fun, weren't they? You had to make everybody listen to what you wanted. You had to pay for it, but you had to make them listen to what you wanted. Maybe that's part of this too. Maybe Spirit's been really laying this on you, and like in music, you have a hard time because every song you're like, oh, here we go again. You know, Spirit's really laying it on you. Erasing the deceptive kind of energy or being strategic in your past in order to protect yourself is what I saw here. In order to be able to have honey, in order to be able to have this nourishment that you need for yourself when it comes to joy and love and happiness. Erasing the things that you've done in the past. If y'all have never heard a fox laugh, it is also a playful energy. So y'all need to go look up because it's hilarious. But anyway, a fox is also very playful and can be very sweet, and they get kind of a bad reputation, poor guys, but they're kind of like dogs, you know, and they can be very playful, and having that playful energy in your past and accepting that maybe you were foolish in the past, and you know, maybe you were naive or younger or whatever that was, and you were just in that moment of whatever that was, and letting that go. Being more playful with that energy of what was, even though it may have had huge consequences, that's something of the past. You know, it's not who you are anymore. And really having that concept and erasing that from your mind and not carrying that old story with you in order to be able to have fulfillment in your life with honey. You have to nourish yourself as well. Knowing that you have to nourish yourself and forgive yourself is important. It's like, gosh dang, you know, give yourself a break. Give yourself a break. You would tell your friend sitting next to you if they were beating themselves up about something. It's like, it's okay. It's all right, you know, and this is part of what you need to be explaining to yourself as well. You have the butterfly, which is significant of that, also that Phoenix energy, that transformation that's taking place. You have the two birds. So there's that kind of, yeah, look at this. Two birds here with the heart, and you have these, this is so synchronistic, I love it. You have these two birds here, and there's a heart in between the two of them. This is, and they're, it's, I mean, come on. That's awesome. I love that. So there's a bond here that you may have with somebody that's important to you. You have the strawberry as well, so that's that sweetness that's coming through again. I just had a taste of a strawberry in my mouth, so that was kind of cool. Then you also have the and, so there's more to come here, you know, for you. And knowing that, we have F-I-C, fickle heart. We have H-L, maybe you've had the fickle heart, you know, and that's changing. This also kind of, the strawberry, this strawberry also kind of looks like the shape of that heart, right? I have to say. You also have the U and an M or a W. Two A's and L, I, H, E, heal, right there. Heal the heart. R, J, RJ, maybe relevant. Liar is also here. So maybe you've lied in the past with that confession being there about how you feel. Or maybe you just lied to yourself as well, you know? Okay, I know there's a lot more stuff that I can see here, but hell is here, so maybe you've been through hell. Put yourself through hell. Maybe you're just realizing that, though. But knowing the experience was purposeful, right, for you to see these things. Like, if it happened any other way, I wouldn't have realized this. That kind of telling yourself that. All right, guys, I'm gonna leave you here. So thanks for being here. Thanks for all your love. Thanks for all your support, and of course your kindness. Clarity. Something else that popped in my head right there. Thanks, guys, and I hope to see you soon. Bye. Hey, pile 3. So if you chose the Tarot of Mystical Moments and this dagger, so obviously right off the bat, I want to say a dagger to the heart. I don't know why that's the first thing that comes to my mind, but it is. So this could also represent like a way of sabotaging yourself, maybe, perhaps, or someone else took a dagger to your heart, you know, in a way. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. There may have been some kind of ending that transpired here. You may feel stabbed in the back, even. This could also represent a truth that you were unaware of, or facing the truth that someone may have stabbed you in the back as well. Not feeling a bunch of good things coming from that. So I'm going to set this tarot to the side. We're going to get some of the shaman oracles to take a look at your past, your present, and your future energies. So I'm going to quick shuffle these real quick, and then I'll see you in just a second. Okay, guys, so we're going to take a look at your past, obviously, first. So we have deep quiet, meditation and stillness, number 11. You may have, okay, You may have been someone that recently came out of a dark night of the soul. You may have also be kind of in the shadows still of that. For some of you, you're in this kind of stillness. Once you get kind of out of that energy, you're in this kind of environment of stillness. For some of you, this is just part of representing how you've been in this hermit energy, and that has been part of your path in order to kind of meditate and have this contemplation on where you are. You could have just recently come out of this, and we're going to get into your current energy. This is your past energy here. So I feel like you've may have been in a position in your life where you are almost kind of grasping for straws or reaching for help, or feeling like, you know, you were at the bottom of the barrel there. You know, you were at that point to where you couldn't take any more. You couldn't take any more stress. You couldn't take any more of a situation. You couldn't take any more pain of a situation. And how that's kind of brought out a lot of shadows within you. So as far as the journey goes, this could look in the way of, okay, Spirit, I've had enough. You know, I'm going through enough. How can it get any worse than this? How can it get any further, deeper pain than what I'm experiencing at this time? You know, how do I turn this around for myself? How do I get out of this pain? This is something that has been in the past a struggle for you, but you also kind of, with the number 11, know that you knew that it was part of your journey. You knew that it was part of what you needed to experience. You knew the stillness, it was a time for you to be in meditation, for you to experience the quietness around you, and the depths of the quietness around you. You know, every time that we get to a point to where we may be in a place of isolation and feeling all these not so great energies that are coming up, being in that place, or whatever has been the catalyst to that and putting you into that place, is because that is a time of reflection, something that's needing to clear out in order for something to new to come along, new to transpire. Whether that's you being receptive to new energies coming in, or you being in a place to where you just really need to get through some shadows that you didn't see before, some pain that you're still holding on to that you needed to let go of. And seeing things for what they are is a part of this. Seeing that you were in that place for a reason, and it was purposeful for you. And there could have been a pain associated with this. That was the catalyst that was there. But it's also like, I feel like, you know, when we're in that space is also when I feel like we connect with Spirit the most, is because we are calling out to them because we need them. And I think that connection to Spirit was also something that was very significant for you in this part of your journey moving forward. I think that you needed to connect with Spirit in that kind of way so that you could almost realign yourself and get past maybe the everyday 3D kind of world, and how, you know, the universe and Spirit, everything kind of, you know, God, whoever you believe in, it all works as one. It all works together, and it's a part of where we are currently on our planet. You know, it's a part of the journey, and that you're not alone, or it's not just about what you can touch. It's also about the invisible, of what you can't see, and having that realization of that. Sometimes we kind of get away from the everyday, day-to-day routines, or what we're trying to accomplish for ourselves, and we need to kind of be pulled back into that connection with Spirit, because that's where that purpose is. And so whatever's transpired here with the pain that's transpired was that catalyst to get you back to that place in your past, something that you needed. So in your present moment, oh, I love this card. I know, I love it because of the flowers, because of that. But it's the Garden of Venus, and Venus is representing, you know, love, and also Taurus energy. But thinking about that is about what is it now that you're reflecting on that you do have to be thankful for, the love that you do have in your life. And you also have rest and renewal. So now that you've gone through this pain, this experience, you're in a place of rest, and you're in a place of renewing yourself now at this point. You know, it's kind of like that, which Pile 2 had the phoenix. It's kind of like having that phoenix energy where, okay, now you're renewing yourself. Now you're in this more comfortable place, and you've kind of come out of this to where now moving forward, you're finding that balance, you're finding your foot again, you're finding your footing again, and you can stand tall again, and you're starting to do that. You're starting to look to the future again. You're starting to look to a higher perspective of things, seeing a bigger picture of things when it comes to love, opening yourself up to the idea that you can create your own garden. It's funny too, because this can almost go unnoticed if you're not really looking at this card, but there's a fox here that's just laying down. There's also a moth, a hummingbird. So moths represent that shadow side, and also obsessive thinking. The hummingbird would be that ancient wisdom for me, and holding on to that higher perspective or higher view of things. And you also have a shell here, and dangling from the shell is the heart. So coming out of your shell, coming out of that hermit energy when it comes to love. This could, 3D reality, this could be looking in the way of, okay, now you're coming out of something that you just, a horrible situation where you felt betrayed or stabbed in the back or really hurt, and you're opening yourself up to love again. Having this rest, though, this time of rest, of realizing that this is what you want, that you want to find balance and make changes for yourself, and then having that renewal take place, coming out of your shell. But the fox energy being asleep down here on the ground, it's like you're aware now, but you're not on guard. It's really like you're just kind of ready to open yourself up, ready to grow something, ready to grow love in your life again. So your future energy here, the horseman, herald of change, number 30. So 3 is that growth. And look at this. There's this like Knight of Wands energy that's coming off of this card. You're feeling this inspiration and this drive to push forward, to out of everything that you've experienced. It's like you're bottling all of this experience up. You're realizing what it is that you really want for yourself, what it is that you really deserve for yourself, and not allowing that pain to be a part of your experience moving forward, not letting it keep you from being able to be open to something new, to be able to be opening yourself up to love again, to being able to really experience what it is that you want to experience. When we meet someone, we can be in a place of where we're really fearful, which hence, the fox being asleep here, where you're really on guard about everything. So that can really ruin it at times. It can really get in the way of things. And that can be more so the case if you haven't done the healing work on past relationships, on past betrayals, on past endings. And I think that's what you're kind of putting everything together and realizing that's why that was so purposeful for you. That's why that hermit time was so purposeful for you. Even though you may have felt lonely at times, maybe you have felt like, you had despair at times. But now you're kind of putting those things together and realizing why that was so necessary. And there's an appreciation and gratitude that goes into that with spirit and that connection that you've reconnected yourself with, to where now these new things can come in. And now you feel this inspiration. Moving forward, this is what's coming next for you. If you're not there already, timelines may be a little different for everybody, is having this growth and wanting to charge forward, wanting to surrender that past energy with this like white looking flag that she has holding up here, and moving towards change for yourself, taking control of things and moving towards what is best for you, what is best for your highest good, not dwelling, not staying into this energy, really allowing yourself to rest and open yourself up to freeing yourself from that past, and so that you can really feel fulfilled once you have that opportunity in hand, and not denying yourself of any of that. It's like you're making sense of your full on experience, your full journey. You're making sense of it all. And you're soon will, if like I said, you aren't already, you soon will be in this surrender stage moving forward. And moving towards the sun, you know? What brings you happiness? This is what you've been waiting for. Look at that. That's awesome. That's just half the deck. I cannot make that up, guys. Come on, that's just half the deck. You have the Knight of Wands right there. Look at it. And the Lovers. You're moving towards something, a relationship that you want, that you desire, that you feel in balance with, you feel equal with. You know, there's a ring of fire here. You know, you're taking that risk now. You're opening yourself up to taking risk. And before, you may have been someone that's very guarded when it comes to that, because you have had that pain in the past. Knowing that you healed from that, and you can open yourself back up to something new again. Look at that, strength. Where you can have peace in your life again. You can have harmony in your life again. Sorry about that, guys. And the King of Wands is here as well. You know, staying focused on what it is that you really want for yourself. Staying focused on your truth. You feel this drive to where, okay, I feel ready. I feel good. I feel like I can move forward. I feel like I'm in a good place. I feel like I can have this whole like renewal of myself and enjoy, you know, this new experience. For some of you, you may have met someone new. For some of you, you haven't yet, but you're just like wanting to, or you're wanting to, at least you're just receptive to it at this point, and maybe you weren't in the past. What can you tell me about this for pile 3? The Empress, Divine Feminine Energy. The first card out in pile 2 was the Emperor, and I felt like pile 1 was 2 different energies. So if you're in any way, shape, or form in a spiritual connection, or you feel like there's a lot of learning that's going into this, all these piles may resonate for you, your person, and both. And you have the Six of Cups that's here. Yeah, look at that. There's some nostalgia that's going into this. For some of you, this is even opening yourself or being receptive to... I'm going to get some more before I say that. Actually, Taurus energy coming out again here. You know, this Garden of Venus, it looks kind of like the Empress to me. And if you take this down here, it would be the number 3, which is the Empress energy. So creating something new for yourself. You may have new relationships, just new experiences, but this is past energy here with this. Look at that, 3 of Pentacles. All the work that you've put into yourself, wanting to have someone that you can work with, or that will kind of commit to you as well, the Hierophant. One more. Taurus, more Taurus energy for me. And Judgment, yeah, Scorpio energy, facing judgment, having that renewal is here. This is the rest for me. The Six of Cups is having happy memories of the past and not moving forward with negativity of the past. You've healed yourself from this. You've released yourself from this. When you look back, which I feel like is part of this right here, is what you're working on, because you have 2 different birds here that are working on this with you, and we talked about that connection to spirit, and you see all these birds that are here, which are messengers of spirit. You know, you have this one bird here that's looking of the past, which is this nostalgia, reminiscing about a soul connection here that you have in the past, and how that's kind of created you yeah, helped create you into this person that you are now, or you're seeing yourself as this more Empress energy of what it is that you truly want, truly need, and truly desire for yourself, compared to how you've seen yourself in the past, and having a good sense of reality around that. You know, not looking at the past and the pain that was associated there. That's what you've healed from. But now you're capable of looking at the past and how that's changed you and created a new way of seeing yourself in a much more positive way. You're taking the best memories, the best things from those past experiences, and letting that be what you hold on to moving forward. Not holding on to betrayal, not holding on to hurt, not holding on to pain. That's how you're opening yourself up to love again. That's how you're being receptive to love again, and respecting yourself in a way of allowing yourself to have something in the future like that. So you're in the middle of this experience right now for some of you. You're right on the cusp of being able to surrender over and have this renewal that's here. You have the other bird here that's looking in this way with the hammer. So you're still rebuilding yourself here. This flower's almost done being built. You're still kind of in this place of working on yourself, rebuilding yourself from the past, but you're looking towards the future and what it is that you want to make for yourself here. With this Hierophant energy is, for some of you, this could be, what aligns with you when it comes to your morals, your beliefs, what you want. What does that look like? What does commitment look like? Is that something that you want, is commitment? What are you open up to? What's okay with you? And when it comes to love, what's not okay with you when it comes to love? Like you're looking in the future and thinking, okay, what do I want from this? Using all this wisdom that you've gained up until this point. There goes my voice with judgment. Judgment is a call from spirit, to be called to recognize yourself in a very complete, authentic way. They're coming up out of the coffin there and having that renewal, that rebirth in a way of, they don't have any clothes on. They're completely vulnerable to where they've been, who they are, and where they're going. And that is this energy that's coming for you. Being completely vulnerable here and honest about that, facing your fears of that, facing your fears of a renewal is something else that's here, because it's something that you may have been hesitant to, opening yourself up, and now you are. But look at this. I mean, you're right there at that point to where you're in the middle of this past experience, this nostalgia, this soulmate energy to what it is that you want, and being honest with yourself about that and about the situation itself and where it is. And all the work that you've put into yourself here. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Yeah, all the work that you've put into yourself when it comes to your own realization of what you're worth and your abundance and what you can accomplish for yourself. Tell me about the Empress, okay? The Moon energy. Not being afraid to really... not being afraid of yourself is what came to mind, which is kind of funny, because it's like you're not being afraid to look at yourself in a way of what you deserve, which is strange. But it's like you're saying to yourself, I deserve this. In a way, there's a little bit of, fear attached to that, because you're saying, I know I deserve this moving forward. And it's almost like fearful in a way, because you are putting yourself out there, but there's a little bit of illusion that kind of takes place where you know what your value is and you know what you want to create for yourself. I think being afraid that you can really accomplish this is part of what's lingering in the background, if you will, that you kind of push to the side when it comes up in your mind. of what it is that you want to create. But knowing that you're capable of it. Knowing that you have everything that you need in order to do it. Knowing that you've already overcome that mountain. And it's just a way of, you're looking at you like you've never looked at you. Even when it comes to the shadow parts of that, with the moon being here. Cancer, Pisces energy as well. Releasing attachments of outdated way of thinking about yourself. Why is the Six of Cups here? The Seven of Cups. Yeah. Some of you are looking at choices. You maybe have a lot of options when it comes to love. You may have a lot of different... the word that I'm thinking is not coming to mind. Or not coming out. It's literally right there, but it won't come out of my mouth. You may have a lot of different prospects, that's what I want to say, that you're looking at. But there's still, you may have a lot of different people that are interested in you here. You're still kind of currently in this nostalgic energy about someone of your past here. The Six of Cups is a card of nostalgia. It's talking about your past memories. So there is still some of this that's here that you're still kind of contemplating or looking at. And for some of you may be looking at that past experience and trying to figure out what it was about that experience that you can pull for this future energy of what it is that you want in the future. But for some of you, you're still kind of stuck on, not stuck, because I don't think you're stuck. I think that you're choosing to be in this space. You may be trying to figure out if that person is still an option for you or not, for some of you. For others of you, you're just looking at soulmates of your past and thinking about the choices that you've made with those people of your past. Why is the Three of Pentacles here? Two cards wanted to come out. The Five of Pentacles and the Four of Swords in reverse. So, feeling left out in the cold or feeling like a lack, feeling abandoned for some of you is something that I think that you're trying not to overlook this. I think that you're trying to work on this feeling, like this abandonment one that you still kind of carry, and how it's taken over some experiences of how you perceive pain. You know, you may be someone that constantly feels like misunderstood. And like you get left out in the cold in situations and you just, because you're being misunderstood or misrepresenting yourself and what it is that you want. And how that's something that you're still working on. You know, not being honest with yourself about what it is that you want. You're really looking at this within yourself and saying, how is it possible that I've contributed to my own pain in any kind of way? And the way in through what I'm seeing here is that these abandonment wounds that are here, or this feeling of being abandoned in commitments that are here, is in feeling misunderstood when it comes to that, is because maybe you've never spoken your own truth about what it is that you need, and you are being more in this place where you didn't want to come across in that way. You didn't want to feel needy. You didn't want to acknowledge those things about yourself because you didn't want the other person to, you wanted to be there for the other person and what they needed and wanted, but you didn't want to make that other person feel like you were in a needy place. And you were denying yourself. You were denying yourself of being able to have what it is that you needed. And then when that person kind of went their own way, or it was more of a one-sided kind of the way things went, the scales were not balanced there, you felt abandoned, but you never really spoke up about what it was your needs were in the first place and set those boundaries into place when they needed to be set. And recognizing that is something that you've been working on in this experience here moving forward. It ties into what you're worth. There's the fattest robin I've ever seen before in my life that's sitting in front of me in a tree. So I don't know if it's just another bird, but I don't know what the symbology of a robin is. May look that up. I might look that up and put it on the screen. Why is the Hierophant here? Tell me more about this Hierophant. You're still kind of, oh, the King of Swords in reverse. You don't really know what it is that you want still, I feel. There's another bird. I don't think that you still kind of know what it is that you want moving forward. And this is what I was going to say here. She's sitting in the tree, and the owl's the one that has the book. You know, and she's sitting there with her in contemplation. Body language looks like she's in contemplation. And the moon's in the background, which you have here. Aquarius energies here as well. It's like you're still trying to figure out what it is that you really want for yourself. You don't know. You don't know. You know, King of Swords is in reverse because you don't know what it is that you want when it comes to if you want commitment, if you don't, what you want to grow for yourself. You're still figuring this out. And if for those of you where you're already in kind of a relationship, or you're getting into a relationship, you're heavier in that contemplation of that, because now you feel this time restraint, or this energy of there being time being placed as a part of this. You know, time is a part of this in some kind of way. That robin may have been pregnant. That's why it was so big. It made it spring. So, and you have this Empress energy here, which has the baby, you know, in the nest. Birthing something new. For some of you, you may even, if you are in a relationship, you could be thinking about that as well. You know, you could be thinking about if you know, what your future looks like, if you want kids, or if you want more kids, or if you want, just an idea of what it is that you really want to birth in your reality. Why is Judgment here? The Page of Wands. Making a judgment call and really putting yourself under that microscope, right? You have the Hanged Man here at the bottom of the deck. Pisces energy. Being in this time of perspective, this perspection that you've been in of things has been very difficult for you. It's not easy. It's not easy for that Hanged Man. It's hard to be up there, hanging down, upside down, you know, having to look at things differently. It's hard. The blood rushes to your head. Doesn't feel good to be in that space, but it's necessary. And I think that's what you've been doing in this part of your journey, is you've been looking at the perspective of things in a way that hurts, but is necessary for you to really not just sugarcoat another person or a circumstance. Looking at all the things about it, so that you can not only accept the situation, but accept that person for who they are, and not like blame, but for how they are who they are, and why they are who they are, and what they see in themselves and what they don't. You know, we can't get other people to see a perspective that we see in them. And especially if you're on kind of a spiritual journey here and you're going through this healing process and you're recognizing these things, shadows within yourself, you start to see shadows within other people that you may call them out on those, but it doesn't mean that they're going to understand it until they understand it. And then it will be like this huge awakening. And this may be part of your experience in the past. It's like I feel, and you love that person, and you want to be with that person, or you want to cherish that person, or you want to love that person, and you almost want to shake them so that they can change that or see that within themselves so that they can have a better overall life experience, because that's what you want for them. But you can't. You can leave clues. I mean, you can plant seeds in their mind, but you can't make them see it. You know, I'm going to tell you a personal story. So I had someone in my life, I'm going to leave this kind of unknown, but I had someone in my life, and they were having difficulties with one of their parents. And they were constantly, let's just say it was a really close person in my life, and they were constantly complaining about this person and how they were this and they were that, and they just didn't see things, and this and that. Well, I saw how much it hurt that person. It hurt them, that they couldn't, that person, my parents just cannot see my perspective of this, and I don't understand why they can't see it, what they're doing, and they're hurting me and all this stuff. Well, they were older in age, and kind of the way that this person particularly was, because you can always constantly grow, they're kind of set in their ways, right? And so because I love this person, I'm thinking of their best interest, and I tell this person, you can't change that person's perspective, and you're only hurting yourself trying to, holding resentments, holding grudges. You have to have acceptance there at some point. And I think maybe this is part of what you've experienced here. You've reached this point of just accepting that maybe this person just doesn't see things in the way you do. And even if you can recognize your own flaws, your own shadow sides of how you went through this process, of maybe even how you've hurt this other person or experience, but they don't see their part, you can't make them. And the only way is to accept what is and hope that maybe one day they will, or maybe one day they can have that sink in to where they can have a better overall life experience and then move forward. And I think that's where you're at. And that might be part of this judgment right here. Really putting these things under a microscope. All these birds. All these birds. The Page of Wands is good news. And you may get some kind of good news here coming to you soon. That you've been waiting for. And it could be some kind of for some of you, a renewal. Spark some kind of renewal in your life in general. Tell me more about this judgment, please. What is the Page of Wands? High Priestess. You already have this inner knowing that this is coming towards you. And I'm not going to go into too much detail there with that, guys, because I feel like for some of you, it's just going to be different for everybody. It's a general reading, but it's going to be different in the way that you know what this is, this High Priestess. You have this inner knowing that something's coming towards you. Some kind of news. You feel like, or you're seeing it as good news, is coming towards you. And it's going to give you a sense of renewal for yourself. What can pile 3 expect in the near future? Because you have this change here. The King of Pentacles. So this could be a soulmate, or this could be someone that Capricorn energy that's coming towards you, wanting commitment. The King of Pentacles is someone that's honest, someone that looks at things long term. They have a lot of stability to offer, or they're wanting to offer stability. Divine masculine energy here too with this stag. Somebody may come and offer you something, some kind of stability here. What can pile 3 expect in the future moving forward? The Page of Pentacles. Someone's coming here with some kind of offer. King of Wands. Aries energy. The Six of Wands. There's that hummingbird, like the one on here. And look at the flower, the color of the flower. The Two of Wands. Someone's coming towards you here, someone that wants to ground things here with you. For some of you, this is an apology, and I did hear like an apology for closure there. For others of you, this is, I think for everybody, you may be sitting at a crossroads here with this Two of Wands to make plans for your future. You may, I do feel like, guys, if y'all chose this pile, good things are around the corner here for you, okay? Either way, change is coming, good things are coming for you. Growth is happening for you. And someone is here, I feel like, that's going to come in to offer you something. And you're going to feel like victorious with this offer. But you're going to be sitting at a crossroads, maybe making future plans with this person. Can you give me a card for the King of Pentacles? The Chariot energy, wanting to kind of, maybe they're coming in very slowly with this Pentacle and Chariot here. Cancer energy as well. They're coming in wanting to take control of a situation, making things better, taking control. What's important to this person, to someone that's slowly coming towards you to, they maybe have been trying to get their emotions in the right place. Why is the Page of Pentacles here? The Eight of Cups. There's an apology here for some of you about someone that walked away from you, or walked away from this relationship. An acceptance around why. You and this person could have seen things in very different ways. One of you could be in a very different place from the other. For others of you, this is about this person wanting to have a solid new start with you and walking away or leaving things in the past. Or even walking away from emotional attachment so that they can have a solid new start here with you. And remember, this could be someone new as well. Why is this King of Wands here? The Hermit energy. Virgo energy here. Staying focused on what they have learned. It's almost like needing to be in a hermit energy so that they could figure out what it is that they wanted moving forward for themselves. 11:11 on the timer here, guys. Maybe also being completely self-focused here. Here, if y'all don't believe me. It's 11:11. Maybe also being self-focused, and that's something that they needed that perspective of. They needed to be in that hermit energy to understand what it was that they really wanted for themselves. And for some of you, if this is someone you're already in a relationship with, it's a similar thing. You know, they needed to understand what they really wanted for themselves, and taking control of that moving forward is what they've learned in this hermit state. And they learned having someone that they connect with is they want to have that experience. They want to take control of that experience and really move forward with that, not denying themselves of that. Why is the Six of Wands here? Not passing that by, right? The Eight of Pentacles. There's a lesson in all this with this person. She's hugging that moth, you know. The Eight of Pentacles can represent spiritual work, doing work on yourself, and being successful with doing work on yourself is part of this, what's coming towards you. This is because of the work that you have done on yourself, these good things coming towards you, whether this is a person, a circumstance, whatever this is, this good outcome of something that you've been waiting for is coming towards you because of the work that you've done on yourself. The journey that you've took here on your shadows to recognize yourself your spiritual self have this renewal within. You've been successful here with that. You've recognized, it's like Spirit saying, we recognize the work that you've done, and here's your reward for that. Why is the Two of Wands here? Even though you already feel rewarded, really, because it wasn't in vain, right? You're different. For the better. Two of Wands with the Four of Pentacles. So, for some of you, and the Three of Swords is there, gotcha. With the Three of Cups and the Five of Wands. If there was some kind of third party in a situation, there's an understanding here of that. Someone could be wanting to kind of reconcile here. The truth of that third party is something that could come out. And it may be a little bit heartbreaking, but it may be something you already knew. And why a separation has transpired or taken place. Why you had to go your different ways. An opportunity to see things so that you can move forward clearly. For some of you, this is a closure that you wanted. For others of you, this is talking about this pain that you've experienced, like we talked about with the dagger. The pain that you've experienced, not allowing that again to make you so guarded. So when it comes to making a decision in the future, because I do feel like that there is some sort of decision that's here. It could have to do with a home, could have to do with a move. She's holding the world, moving into a new direction for yourself. The Two of Wands is making plans for the future. The Four of Pentacles, again, another home here. Being closed off to the idea of making those plans and what they look like. Not being too guarded, but still having some sort of boundary up and being able to really speak your truth on this at this point. Really being able to speak on what it is that you want for yourself so that it doesn't end in this Three of Swords yet again. So now that when you don't feel abandoned because you feel like you spoke your truth and you put those boundaries up where they were needed in the future, moving forward. So if this is someone coming back from your past, this is saying, now moving forward, I know where my boundaries are and I'm going to make a plan to set those into place when I need to. For others of you, if this is someone new, it's the same thing. You know, the heartbreak has placed this on you in a healthy way, healthy boundaries. So let's get some advice. We'll do these first. I have some advice for pile 3, please. Proposal. Okay. For some of you, that's what this is here, is a proposal for, but it could be it's just a proposal for anything. A romance or business opportunity is indebted. My nose just started getting rooty all of a sudden. Okay. Number 27. So things are going to be coming into alignment here. I do feel like someone's going to offer you some kind of a commitment, some wanting to work with you here on this relationship. If this is someone from your past, or it's just someone maybe even proposing to you, wanting to even marry you, you know, wanting to commit to you in that kind of way, especially if this is someone new. But you remember, you're in that state to where you're trying to figure out what that is that you want. I don't know why I'm grabbing these. That's not what I wanted. Okay, let's get some of these too. Sorry, I had to pause for a second. Okay. These are the Crow Oracles. Can you give me... No. Can you give me one for pile 3, please? Advice. No. I'm not taking that many. Oh, fine. There's 3 top cards. Let's see. Observation, number 34. Exposed, number 17. And growth. Okay. Well, I'll just take it. 17 is the star in tarot. And you notice the birds looking at the web. You know, this is this energy that I was telling you were going to be in. When this proposal comes, this observation is going to take place of what it is that you want. If you can trust this situation or not. How you feel about it. Remember, you're in a receptive, more energy now than you were before. and 17 is the star. So the truth, exposing the truth about what it is that you desire, what you have, what wish you have for you, exposing that, being honest with yourself about that, of those wants and those needs. Not compromising what you want or need for someone else's, but finding that balance is important. In order to have growth, in order to have change take place. You know, again, seeing that higher perspective so that you don't create or add to it not working out in the way and then blaming the other person fully for abandoning you, but you didn't really speak up for what your needs were, set those boundaries into place. And I'm not saying that you're to blame. I'm just saying that, you know, you can only control your own self. And if you've done everything and you've been honest and you've played out everything and what you needed and wanted and spoke the truth about that, then, you know, I mean, it is what it is, right? Try to be a rainbow in someone else's cloud. This is really wild because my son had a fortune cookie and brought it to me the other day, and this is what it said. And I was just talking about putting someone else's needs before your own. Don't try to be in this place where you're having this people-pleasing kind of tendency tying into the relationship to where you want to do everything for this person, but you're neglecting your own needs. And that star energy's here, which I said here, it's number 17. Expose what it is that you want for yourself. And be honest and be truthful about that. Okay, that one on the floor. So, with these on the floor, when they go on the floor, it makes me think of, and it's different for everybody. I hear tarot readers say different things all the time. Well, that's not meant to be if it's on the floor. Well, I guess it just depends on how you feel intuitively. And this, for me, would be shoulda, coulda, wouldas. Because we just got done talking about if you didn't express yourself. So what you could be missing, you know, is part of that and explanation of that. Sometimes you just have to ride the wave that you're given. So if you express yourself and what it is that you want, but it's not reciprocated in the same way. If it's not coming back to you in the way that you're giving something, acknowledging that imbalance and speaking of it. Hey, you know what? I feel like I've been doing a lot for you lately and I haven't been getting anything in return. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. That's how I'm feeling about this. You know, really kind of nip that in the bud before it gets even worse and worse and worse and worse, and then you feel neglected. You have to be able to express those things when you feel them. Otherwise, it's not an honest, balanced partnership. I don't know why that's so. If someone's giving you an olive branch here, be honest in that conversation about the way you feel about the balance of the relationship. What are the benefits here for, if they're offering you a proposal here, what are the benefits for you and them? That's really how you can look at a situation and tell if this is meant for you or not. You know, what ways is this gonna benefit you, and do they contribute to that? Are they getting more out of it than you are? Do you know what I mean? Okay, we also have, to thrive in life, you need 3 bones. I love this card. A wishbone, a backbone, and a funny bone. And that is so true, and I love that expression. I might actually post that on something. I love that expression. To thrive in life, you need 3 bones. Yeah, you need to be able to have that wish, like we talked about, but you also need to be able to have a backbone to express the wish that you want. And then also you need to be able to have humor behind the experience and a little bit of a way of letting your guard down a little bit, you know? Not being so stern and serious about expressing yourself, but just saying, hey, this is what I've been feeling lately. You don't have to be just, you know, a jerk about it. You know what I mean? You can add a little humor in. It always helps the situation to add a little humor in. Unless it's the other person's not in a fun or humorous way of thinking, then I would steer away from that for sure. May get a little offended if someone's crying and you're trying to make a joke. You know what I mean? Like, you just have to use your own discernment there, you know? Okay. Postcard from Spirit. We have Live Your Dreams. Dear wonderful you, intimacy is scary sometimes. It means that you have to let someone else get to know the real you, not the perfect, flawless mask that you wear for others. No, it's time to reveal the cool one, the passionate one, and the imperfect one that is totally you without artifice or walls. Yes, you will be exposed and vulnerable for a time. Guys, this is so important with this, what we talked about at the beginning, with you opening yourself up here. But it will be so worth it. This is the only way that you will know true closeness with others. And you will also be close to Spirit and to us. There is amazing freedom that comes when you let go and just be yourself with another or a group. Release from the invisible bindings that keep you from intimacy is truly empowering. So may we support you wholeheartedly in this choice. You will know yourself better, and we hope learn to love yourself as much as we do. Love is about who we are with others, so share it. You'll be so glad that you did. Loving you so, so much. Being very true to yourself here is I think, partially the overall message, right? It's just being true to yourself and what it is that you want, and that's unique in itself. Okay. Let me get some charms here for you guys. Sorry if that was super loud. Okay, y'all got a lot. Oh, this is a rock that I found on one of my many walks. Sad walk actually, and I looked down and I saw this, and it looks like a broken heart. It looks like half of a heart. And at the time, that's kind of the way I was feeling. And so that kind of always reminds me of that. So again, that dagger coming from past heartbreak. And the squirrel here, which they can be kind of, you know, sneaky as squirrel, but they're also very playful. And they also store things. Try to let go of that. Don't store a bunch of, don't hold things against someone or a situation or yourself. If you're gonna release it, forgive it, so that you can move forward. We have an A in the bowl. You may feel like you also go round and round. Don't do that either. We talked about that. You know, other person's perspective. Sometimes you have to let that go so you can move forward. We have the Eeyore. I love Eeyore. So that being abandoned or feeling abandoned, you know, Eeyore is always like, I'm so sad. My life's so sad. You know, all this stuff. But he has all these good friends around him. They're always trying to do things with him. That might be part of that here for you too, guys. Just allowing yourself to have fun, you know. So this is a little hair clip. It's blue, but it always reminds me of the throat chakra for some reason. Don't cut that off. Don't cut your vocal cords off, right? Express yourself. Express your truth here. You also have the Judgment pin for me, and it's also like the Ace of Pentacles. So when you get this opportunity to face judgment, to have this renewal, or to express yourself, face your fear and do it. Express what it is that you need to express. You have the lightning bug. So seek the light in the darkness. Sorry guys, my nose is just like out of nowhere started getting stuffed up. Or something to that nature. I don't know, maybe it's my throat. I feel clogged up. I don't know what's going on. Maybe that's it. Maybe when you get this opportunity, you may feel like you get kind of choked up. ground yourself. You need to do some grounding work outside, you know, or anything that you can, working with something that's not materialistic, something that's nature-wise. Okay. And then this is my Six of Cups, because it looks like, for me, it always reminds me of the flowers that he hands her. So that soulmate energy is coming through again. Let's get some initials. Struggling to breathe over here. That's a lot. Well, hell, I might as well take them all, right? I was trying not to. I wasn't going to, but I already had them out. So you have the snake, transformation, and the owl. So there's another bird. I'm not surprised. We have the owl on that card too as well. So using your wisdom there. We have the mannequin. Be yourself here. Okay, speak your truth. It's another message over and over. You have another bird. You have another bird. It's a crow. Imagine that. Seeing the higher perspective and using your own wisdom to move forward. We have S, and we also have the antler. So there you go. There's that divine masculine energy coming out again. SUANEO MHXDCRAE and F. Feed your own soul. Something I heard. There's feed right here. Feed your soul. Susan is also here for somebody. I'm seeing. Maybe somebody ran from you. Sand right here. Sand gets in all the places, doesn't it? It's hard to get out once it's there. So maybe this is once you get into that mindset, a certain mindset, maybe it's hard to get out of it. And remember, you have this A here, but you have lots of A's in the bowl. Okay, guys, so I'm gonna leave y'all here. Home is here, which we saw. Okay, nice long reading. Hold this up. There's lots here. And I'm gonna leave here. So I hope you enjoyed this reading. Hope that this helps. Hope it resonates. Good luck to you guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for all your love and all your support.